Oh boy, we're getting into horror versus horror.
Yes, so people,
About damn time.
it's Halloween, and also in celebrating Billy Ween, you know, that thing I do on my channel. You should watch some of my videos I've already done. We're going to be celebrating by not only talking about this time, but also another horror themed we got for a third topic. But for now, we are finally getting Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th versus Freddy Krueger. Nah, it's Michael Myers, of course. Like, who else would he fight?
Okay, so people were saying that, oh, why is it taking so long? There was a lawsuit way back when for Friday the 13th about who had the rights to it. It got so bad the Friday the 13th game couldn't do content for it.
Yeah, okay, sure. You kind of brought this up in our private discussion. Yeah, so let's talk about that whole controversy with Jason Voorhees, because he's been shifted around to so many game companies, movie studios. Like, what is going on with the copyright for him?
Originally, he was owned by Paramount Studios.
Hey, real quick, I just gotta do something. I'll be right back, but keep talking.
Okay.
So originally, the Friday the 13th franchise was owned by Paramount. That was until Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, that film's questionable.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst Friday movie, but it did really bad in the box office. So because of that, they gave the rights to Friday the 13th and Jason to New Line Cinema. Now, if I recall, the big lawsuit was between Sean Cunningham, one of the creators of the original Friday the 13th, and Victor Miller, who was
Sean,
it came to an end.
Sorry, Sean, you kind of cut out for me there.
Okay, what did you hear?
The original creator, and then it just went fuzzy.
Okay, yeah. So, the original film director was Sean Cunningham, and the screenwriter was Victor Miller. They both came up with the idea of Friday the 13th, and they were at a lawsuit for several years.
Right.
The lawsuit came to an end several months ago.
Wow. The fact it's gone on for that long is crazy. In fact, he was even in Mortal Kombat for a while, and rumor has it he was meant to return in Mortal Kombat as another DLC character, but then the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And okay, is this true or not? Because I can't find much about it online. I wanted to bring it up for this one. So there was supposedly meant to be a Michael Myers versus Jason film. Is that still going on, or was that just a rumor that never came into fruition?
I think that was a rumor, oddly enough, because something with Halloween happened, where after the original timeline, Rob Zombie actually had the rights to the Halloween movies for a while.
Okay then. So we could have probably actually had a conclusion to who would win.
Yeah, or it could have been like Freddy versus Jason stuck in like a 10-year development hell. Yes, it took. They teased Freddy versus Jason at the end of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yes.
And Freddy versus Jason came out 10 years after that.
I remember seeing what's that YouTube channel? Deaf Meat or something like that?
Dead Meat.
Yeah, Dead Meat. So when I was seeing a lot of their kill counts and I saw the end of that film and I saw Freddy Krueger, I was like, wait, they teased him that long ago? Like, that really surprised me. So yeah, to see how long it took to actually make that film is crazy. And as much as I have a guilty pleasure for that film, it doesn't hold up, really.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're actually fighting on screen, it is really fun to watch, especially when Jason was in the dream world and Freddy's just taunting him, freaking smacking him around.
Yeah. Honestly, like, the fighting between the two was done well. It's just the other characters in the movie kind of
sucked.
Dragged it down.
Yeah, and also...
Yeah. Also, by the way, fun fact, it's actually canon to Jason's original timeline. I'll be getting into that later.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Jason has had a bit of an... more so down with his movie career, because it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be a franchise. It was just meant to be one film, and bada bing, bada boom. It got so popular they were like, we need to milk this cow.
Let's talk about the Friday the 13th movies here, because here's some fun facts, because I assume both you and Mate haven't watched the Friday the 13th series, right?
I've watched the first...
I've not watched a single one of either of their films.
Christ! Jesus Christ, I had a heart attack there.
As you can all can tell, Mate was doing his best Michael Myers impersonation.
I'll get into that whole surprise thing when we talk about Michael. Okay, but I've seen the first two,
Right.
and I've seen Dead Meat to kind of get an idea of what Jason's capable of. And of course, I played Mortal Kombat.
Let's go over a little bit of general knowledge about Jason Voorhees. He wasn't the original killer in the Friday the 13th movies.
No, he wasn't. That's true.
That was his mother, Pamela Voorhees.
He's
In the second movie is when Jason makes his debut.
Yeah, he's a real mummy's boy.
With a bag over his head, because guess what? He didn't get his hockey mask till Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah, so I always did kind of find that confusing because I knew of the Jason icon, the hockey mask. Yet when I actually watched the films themselves, I was always like, of course I only seen the first two. I was always wondering like, what's with the fucking hockey mask then?
Well, he got his original hockey mask from one of his victims, Shelby. Shelby was pulling a prank on somebody, and after Jason killed Shelby, he's like, I'm gonna take this since I don't have my pillowcase head anymore.
I will say the hockey mask is definitely more scarier looking than a bag over someone's head.
Have you seen what Jason looks like underneath? Jesus Christ.
True.
Oh God, yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if this is true or not. Sean, you can confirm this. Wasn't the main reason they changed Jason from not having a bag over his head was because many Ku Klux Klan members, if they didn't have the white suit with the pointy hat, they would wear a bag over their head?
I believe that's what they did.
Yeah, like, I remember hearing that because I always assumed
Keep in mind,
the pointy hat thing
the
was...
originals came out in the 1980s, so that kind of stuff was heightened back then.
Yeah, because I always assume. I mean, I know I don't look up history about the Klan, to be honest. Who would? But I just always assumed the whole pointy hat thing and robe was like a standard uniform. But when I was playing like Mafia 3, I noticed that the basic minions were just wearing bags over their head, and I just thought that was funny. But yeah, so I remember then hearing rumors about the whole Jason thing. The reason they changed it because they didn't want Jason to appear as racist. But it's like he's a serial killer. Like, why are you trying to fix someone who's clearly a murderer?
Oh, and going back to some things about Jason is that's when he started using his machete in the third movie.
I mean, the machete is his most iconic kill, but in every single film, he's always used just whatever was around him. What made Friday the 13th stand out was just the ludicrous ways he would brutally murder someone.
Yeah,
like with a sleeping bag with people in it.
I
yeah,
love that.
That even got referenced when they rebooted the franchise.
Yeah. And it also kind of got rebooted and it kind of got referenced in Mortal Kombat 10 when one of his fatalities is slamming you on the floor, but the way he does it is in the same movement how he kills the person in the pillow.
He does it in 3 occasions, actually. He did this in the original movie he did that in, which I think was 3. He did it in the reboot, and he did it in Jason X. Although in Jason X it's weird because he did it to like 2 virtual characters.
Oh god, I know of that film, thanks to Dead Me, and I'm just thinking, what were they thinking with this film?
Jason Goes to Space.
Just...
And again, that's not the worst Jason movie.
No, the reboot they tried to do was also bad. But,
It wasn't as bad as Jason Goes to Hell, because that was a shit stain.
Okay, I have not seen that film, but I have heard bad things. But, yeah...
And here's what's funny. That's where this whole immortality stuff for Jason comes from.
Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense, because, if you can come out of hell...
However, I've written notes about how Jason has been resurrected throughout his franchise. He was killed in part 4, or was it part 3?
I think it was
both.
both.
It was part 3.
I think it was
both.
both.
Because like he lived in one of the movies. His body was just left there.
Oh.
Tommy Jarvis kills him the first time.
Jarvis, reroute power so I can kill this machete man.
Here's the sad part. Tommy Jarvis was an 8-year-old kid when he killed Jason.
That's badass.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is that sad? A kid killed a serial killer.
So Jason is pretty fucking stupid.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Here's how it goes in that movie. Tommy shaves his head, and Jason thinks it's a younger version of himself.
I mean, okay, that
Like
does...
you do.
Okay, I will give some more context. Is Jason was bullied in camp... what's the camp called again on Friday the 13th?
It's the lake.
Right, so he was bullied for being bald and how he looked by all the kids. So I can actually see that as being a clever way of, like, mentally messing with him. Because that's why he hides his face, because he doesn't like how people see him, because that's how he was bullied, because how he looked.
And on another occasion, when it came to tricking Jason, despite the fact he knew his mother was dead, there was a character in the second movie who had a background in child psychology, and to trick Jason, she put on his mom's sweater.
Yeah, Jason
And pretended to be Jason's mom.
Yeah, Jason's definitely... Okay, I don't want to say Jason is sympathetic. He's not. But you do feel sorry for him because he was bullied and he lost his mom and everything like that. But yeah, how he could have sought out therapy, just saying.
Yeah. To be fair, when Jason was killed initially, they kind of called him brain dead, so it's just like he doesn't have that academic knowledge.
Yeah, like, Jason is an idiot. And he sometimes talks to his dead mum through his mind. As in, like, he hallucinates.
But that being said, this guy is still one of the most iconic characters in horror, if not the most iconic horror movie slasher.
I was about to say.
Yeah, like, anytime you think about slasher films, Jason's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, the mask and the mache.
It's been parodied
You also
so
gotta thank
much.
Also gotta thank the stunt people and the effects for the Friday the 13th movies, because in one movie, Jason was played by Kane Hodder as a stuntman. There was a fire stunt that went wrong. Kane Hodder was like, "Nope, I'm gonna do this. I don't give a shit. The movie's gonna look great." Despite the fact he got severe burn scars after that fire stunt.
Jesus, that's a determined stunt double.
But the thing about Jason is he gets resurrected in a variety of different ways. For example, lightning can resurrect him. So, you know, kind of like a defibrillator, essentially.
Well, that's shocking.
Ha!
Although, for some
That does
reason...
the electric.
And you ruined it.
Hell.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
some reason...
you had a good one.
For some reason, after Tommy killed him a second time by drowning him in Camp Crystal Lake, he gets resurrected by a chick's psychic powers because she wants to resurrect her dad, but she somehow resurrects Jason.
You know what?
Freddy does the same exact thing. Jason has been through a lot, to say the least.
He can be killed though. Like, even though he's been resurrected, many of it is either due to the plot demanding Jason to be returning for another movie, but it's not like he's cursed from death. And not only that, sometimes it can take around a year or a month before he comes back. So when he's dead, he's dead.
Let's go back to Jason X for example.
I'll go back to that because of something I heard.
Let's go back to Jason X real quick to talk about that point. There was an android lady called KM who annihilated the shit out of Jason. And everyone's saying, oh, if Jason gets Uber Jason, he wins automatically. You know how he gets Uber Jason?
Ow.
I'll give you a hint. It's a Metal Gear Rising meme.
Nanomachines, son?
The rules of nature.
No, Nano Machine, son.
Yeah! Billy was right! Wait, hold on. Is that actually where that suit comes from with the whole metal mask? It's legit nanobots.
Yes, they try to repair... The nanobots in Jason X try to repair tissue. And to make up for that, they gave Jason more stuff out of him since he had a lot of tissue damage and organ damage.
And mental damage.
Yeah, so that's how he became Uber Jason. So they will most likely not give him Uber Jason stuff,
Do you
or even feats, because if they did that, oh boy, Jason survived atmospheric re-entry.
Okay, do you know what? I'm just going to say, every time you say Uber Jason, I'm just picturing I'm going to order an Uber and Jason's going to just hand me my food.
It's the thing, that's what the form is called in the movie.
I know, but in the US, you guys have DoorDash, right? In the UK, we have Uber who does food. It's called
You
Uber
also
Eats.
have Uber Eats.
Oh, you guys
Never
also.
used it.
Imagine that.
Uh,
Orders like a tea and crumpets, and Jason Voorhees is just there and just hands him a bag.
It's like, wait, where's my usual driver? He just holds the head. I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured as much.
I mean, to be fair, Jason can get there quick because of teleportation is one of his powers.
Okay, I will ask, is that a gameplay mechanic they do, or is that a legit
no.
thing he can do?
This was the thing in the movies. He did this in Jason Takes Manhattan, specifically. For one of the kills, he corners some Asian student, I forget her name, in a dance room. Everywhere she looks, Jason just pops out. A guy was trying to escape from Jason by climbing up the mast, and somehow Jason teleports right behind him and pulls him off.
Okay, yeah. Bad movie design? Maybe intentional. I don't know. Because in the games, yeah, he
always
can
appears
teleport.
out of nowhere. He always appears out of nowhere. This was also a thing in the second movie, for example. Wheelchair-bound kid named Mark somehow didn't see Jason kill him, despite the fact the machete came from his front sight into his face.
I wonder if these were all just movie mistakes, but then later down the line, they were just like, teleport. Yes, he can teleport. Really? This whole time? Yeah, he can teleport. Yeah, we've always planned that.
I mean, to be fair, it would make sense considering, especially around the part where he gets his psychic powers to resurrect him.
Yeah, like, okay.
With the psychic powers to resurrect him.
I'm not saying like this isn't canon or anything like that, but I think I can clearly see the writers clearly made some errors when filming. So they just added that whole, he can teleport ability in the future, and it's just become one of his abilities.
Oh, by
Sounds
the way,
like they pulled a Toriyama.
Yeah,
by
pretty
the way, I
much.
should mention this. If you guys are looking for Jason feats, just skip Part 5 of Friday the 13th.
Oh, does he not really do anything?
Oh no, that was a copycat killer.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, do you know what? We've spoken a lot about Jason. I suppose we should talk about the good old Myers.
Yes, Bill, tell us about Michael.
Alright, so I will say, I've not seen the second film, but from what I've heard, Michael Myers isn't even in that one. Because apparently the Halloween films weren't always going to be about Michael Myers. Each Halloween film was going to be something different. One tackled curses, one tackled a serial killer in a mask, Michael Myers. But the second film did so bad because people really liked Michael Myers that for the third one they were like, fuck it, let's bring him back.
I mean, you look at Michael's design, especially the blue jumpsuit and the mask.
It's a simple design, yet it pulls off a really sinister and like intimidating look. Plus, he is big. Like, he's not Jason big, but my god, he towers over everyone in his movies. But yeah, the third film.
I mean, what do you expect from the guy who voiced Shrek? Because Shrek's VA is Mike Myers.
I know what you're. Okay, now I'm just picturing like when Michael Myers leaves the building, it's just somebody.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I'm gonna kill my sister Lori.
Oh no, well I'm gonna be editing.
You know, if Shrek or Austin Powers doesn't get mentioned in his analysis, like, missed opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if you look on Michael's versus wiki, that's one of the people he does actually beat.
Not surprising.
Okay.
Funny you mentioned the versus wiki. I've got the pages up for both of them.
Alright then, so let's talk about Michael
Because,
Myers.
oh boy.
Okay, so, I will say as much, he does have things over Jason. I know, that's surprising. So, is he mentally unstable as well? Absolutely. But one thing that's always made Michael Myers stand out amongst killers is that he is actually much more clever than he lets on. And the fact, I'm not sure if you guys ever watched some of these shots, but nearly in every scene, Michael Myers is there, even if he's not like in like main focus. In a lot of classic films, you might see him in the distance. Sometimes he might even be in the room in the shadows and you don't even realize it. Many moviegoers that go and look for Easter eggs, Michael Myers is there and you don't realize it. Sometimes you have to enhance the brightness and he's just there watching the main character. Like, that adds another creepiness to Michael Myers. I think I respect more than Jason because the fact you could watch a lot of films and he's just there. Because
I know a big example of Michael's smartness is one time he knocked out a paramedic and he swapped outfits with him. Paramedic got killed because the chick thought that was Michael. Turns out Michael lived and just went back to get his stuff.
yeah.
I think I heard about that.
So, okay, there was a reboot of Michael Myers where they gave him a bit more of an origin that he was bullied as a kid as well, but it was pretty bad. One thing that was kind of comedic though, there was this one film he really enjoyed as a kid, and when he was about to kill this teenager, she's also watching that film. Michael Myers just stops and goes like, lives. He doesn't say that, he just walks away, like, he's about to reach for her, but then when he sees the film, he's like, just walks away. He's like, you know what?
You go buy a copy of that movie.
Like, Nostalgia Critic did a funny line where he's like, yeah, okay, you know what? You like this film. The original's better, but I can respect that. Lives. like I don't know why. Like, imagine you're about to kill someone because you're a psychopath, and then you just see them watching something you like, and you're just like, okay, whatever.
You're watching Bleach? Okay, carry on.
You're watching,
Or in my case, Ruby.
or for me, the Batman animated series. But yeah, but that one's not canon now. That was another universe one. You know, that typical bollocks to get around ignoring
that's
bad remakes.
Those were the Rob Zombie ones, I think.
Yeah. Now, then they did do a continuation of the original story where his sister went up against him finally in the newer films. I haven't seen the final film, but I've heard some mixed things about it. The only thing I've heard that Michael Myers is barely in it, despite the fact it's called Halloween Ends and he's in all the promotion, which... Someone in the comments, if you can, without spoiling the film, can you confirm whether that is true, that Michael Myers is barely in that film?
That's what I've heard as well.
Yeah, because if that is true, that is a really piss-poor way to end the franchise. We know that Halloween's coming back. We know it is. So, what does Michael Myers have in his arsenal? Well, unlike Jason, where, you know, Jason uses whatever is at his disposal, Michael Myers either uses his broad strength or a kitchen knife. That's mostly what he's known for. And in all honesty,
Or a shotgun to impale a guy once.
oh yeah, God, that was epic.
Or some girl's own gun.
Yeah,
Like, I've seen this clip. He kicks a door into a girl that's shooting at him, which knocks her hand to have her point the gun at her own face and pull the trigger.
I wonder if that was intentional or if that was just like, wow, that was really lucky. I was just gonna stab you, but fuck it, something for the movie.
You gotta admit, that's also pretty solid reaction speeds for Michael, too.
Oh yeah, like
Point blank handgun to his face.
Well,
yeah.
it wasn't point blank.
Like, okay,
Still, if
Michael.
you go by a car logic, that's about like 10, 15 feet.
Okay, well, Michael Myers is a fast person. Like, sure, he's big and bulky, but one thing he does have an advantage over Jason, he's much faster. And he's also much more smarter. Now, okay, now here's the thing, I am wondering if they are going to include the Uber thing. I'm not sure if those are still canon, but if they do decide to give him nanobots, then here's the thing. Uber Jason, yeah, absolutely annihilates Michael. But,
Especially, I'll get into what I'm looking at later.
Here's the thing about Uber Jason. I'll say this real quick. The nanomachines only exist in that movie and only on that ship.
right, okay then.
A very specific circumstance for Uber Jason.
Yeah, so I don't think it's very unlikely they will give him that, and given the fact they didn't give Shao Kahn his transformation feat in the movie because they wanted to forget about that, I think they might do the same on this occasion. And plus, even without it, he still wins. But I think with base Jason, I think it's a lot more closer than... Well, not closer, but I think Michael has some advantages. Like, for one, he's a stealth master. Like I said, most of the time, you don't even realize he's in the room until he either attacks you or... No, that's literally it. You never know he's in the room until he attacks you. And he's even...
So Michael has an insane tolerance for pain.
Oh, no, he doesn't feel pain at all now. In the newer films, he legit feels nothing. Like, some mafia guys...
Guess what?
ganged up
Jason feels pain. So...
Yeah, so a bunch of mafia guys ganged up on him, beating him and shooting him, and Michael didn't feel a thing, and he just kept on like fighting back. So if he can tolerate pain, now obviously does that mean he's immortal? Not really, no. He can still be killed, but he is a hard person to kill. Not as hard as Jason, but you know, you could like hit him with a car, you can crush him, he'll get back up, and he seems like one of those.
What if I cut his head off?
Yeah, the only way to kill him from what all the films have done is you decapitate him. Now, I'm not sure if this is true or not. Is he a zombie? I don't think he is. I think he's just a really durable human being. So...
Yeah, but oddly enough, Michael has immortality.
Oh, does he?
Hey, look at the Thorn timeline section.
Okay, well...
Yep, immortality is listed.
Okay, well, he'd still be killed. I think in a similar case with Jason, I guess it's like, oh, once you kill him, he will come back.
Yeah, I've actually heard something in regards to Jason in that sense.
All right, well,
so Thorn,
okay, so...
for people who don't know who he is, in that timeline of Michael Myers, which is part of the original timeline, not the Rob Zombie one, is a demon god that possesses Michael.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that, to be honest. Okay, let me just go through the last things I have in my notes. Yeah, he's incredibly durable, strong enough to break solid wall, apparently. I haven't actually seen that, but if that's the case, that's a lot of strength behind him. He's very skilled in like blade weaponry and at close quarters combat. Like even against like trained fighters aren't able to overpower him because he's strong enough to like rip bone and crush a human with like just his pure strength alone. He can resist being shot. Even like at one point, I think he got shot in the head with a revolver and he just got up from that. So he's hard to kill, and I think he's definitely faster than base Jason. So now, of course, I think that definitely makes the fight just a little bit closer, but I think... we'll save it for the 60 seconds, and then I'll give my full answer about why I'm going with one of the fighters. So, what do you guys want to bring about Michael Myers before we go to the 60 seconds?
Okay. It's mostly going to involve stuff I have on Jason, oddly enough, when it comes to stuff with Michael.
Wait, no, I meant what else does Michael Myers have that... Like I said...
With Thorn's stuff, the reason he has that immortality and enhanced abilities because of Thorn. And Thorn can only be removed from Michael via a ritual.
Okay. Okay, is that literally all you wanted to add? There was nothing else he has, like... Does he have, like, other weaponry that I'm not familiar with? Or is it just, like, kitchen knife and occasionally a gun?
Not really, no. Michael's just more so of the power game person, as well as being extremely clever.
Yeah, he's smart. He's definitely smart, and I think he's gonna outsmart Jason.
Outsmarted Laurie in one of the recent Halloween movies by using a mirror reflection. He made Laurie think that he was standing inside a house. Laurie shot it. Turns out that was a mirror.
Yeah, very clever visual as well, and I don't know, it gave me real Jurassic Park vibes. But yeah, so he does have advantages over Jason. Now, do these advantages guarantee him a win? Well, we'll see after the 60 seconds. So I'm pretty much ready to go, but if you guys want to add something else for Michael, then say so now or forever hold your knife.
I'm good to move on.
Got my sword. Does that count?
Good enough. It's basically a knife, just bigger and compensating for something.
It's for my Eisen cosplay, remember?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I keep forgetting that you actually dressed up as Eisen for that. Alright, and so... Okay, how's the verse thing go? Is it Jason versus Miles? Or is it...
Jason versus Michael Myers.
Alright,
Yeah,
so...
why isn't... Like, the next time, they said Jason versus Michael Myers. Why not Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers?
Voorhees was probably too big of a last name for them to hit, and a lot of people just know him as just Jason.
I guess.
And plus, okay, what sounds more intimidating? Michael Myers or just Michael?
Yeah, true.
Whereas I feel like Jason does have an intimidating name to it. I mean, ask the Red Hood.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right then. So, Shawnee.
Right. Sean, are you ready?
I'm ready.
And go.
Well, Jason is going to decimate Michael Myers. Jason has teleportation on his side, meaning that speed gap may not actually come into play. Jason also can use so many different weapons at his suit. Is a wicked sharpshooter with spear guns and bows and arrows. He has gotten resurrected on multiple accounts. In Jason Goes to Hell, for example, he can possess and mind control people with his beating heart. And the only way to kill Jason from that series was you need Vorhees blood. Same can be how he resurrects back to his normal self. He can take repeated blows from military firepower like shotguns, defeated multiple military guards, and even can take big hits from professional teen boxers. In Jason Takes Manhattan, before he gets swiped away by toxic sludge, you can see him struggle to stay alive. And in the reboot, they actually increased Jason's speed, so he's actually much faster nowadays and has bear traps, which he can use to help him out. Even then, has some sort of stealth as shown in his early movies.
Time.
Ah,
Go.
damn
A lot of
it.
stuff for Jason.
Okay, it's a shame you didn't get to end it on some sort of clever Friday the 13th one. Do you want to just quickly have that moment? Just have a quick segue?
Jason Goes to Hell has so much demonic shit I gotta explain later.
Okay, then, well. Alright, well, there's not going to be a lot I cover for Michael Myers, so I'll try and think of a good Halloween pun to end it on.
Well, are you ready?
I am ready!
And go.
Okay, so Michael Myers has a few more advantages than it may seem on first glance. He's potentially much faster. He's definitely able to resist a lot more of Jason's weaponry. Machete, unless it's a good clean head cut, then Michael Myers is going to walk away from anything else he sends. Like Harpoon, not going to do much. Bear traps, he can easily shatter those. He can smash through a solid wall. He can break a person in half. I think what's going to especially help is his stealth, his cunning, and of course, his smarts. Overall though, I don't think this fight is as one-sided as it may seem on paper, and I do think in this fight, Michael Myers is the sharpest one out of the two. That's all I've really got, really.
Alright, you still had like 10 seconds.
Okay, boobies!
There was a lot of that in the Friday the 13th movies, I'll say that much.
Oh, there was.
So, I'm just gonna get my verdict out of the way. Like, Michael's gonna fucking die.
Yeah, Michael Myers is not going to win this fight, but I do think he has advantages in the fight. Like, he's not going to go down in one hit. Like, Jason's going to
complicated.
Jason's going to quickly realize Michael Myers is not a typical slasher villain. Like, I think it's really going to take Jason a lot of his pure strength just to overpower Michael Myers. However, of course, if they do include his Uber feats, which the only one I really do know about is that apparently he's dodged lasers, which would put him at like light speed reactionary, but at the same time, if they do include that, then yeah, by all means, Michael Myers is even more screwed. But I do
They're not, like I said, they're not going to include that because it's a specific circumstance you need to get Uber Jason.
But yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I'm also going with Jason. Like, Jason is going to kill Michael, but it's not going to be a simple, like, oh, one swing and Michael's dead. No, it's going to take a few poundings from Jason before he feels the sharp end of his weapon.
It's just like, Jason can definitely be outsmarted, even with teleportation.
Yeah, like...
Michael's pain tolerance is definitely going to help him out because Jason can still feel all the wounds he takes.
Oh yeah, and he's been like phased, and he's also been like injured to the point he had to take a few seconds to recover before continuing fighting, as evident in Freddy versus Jason. Like when every time he got slashed, there was a little moment he's like had to quickly like cover the wound and stuff like that.
The main concern is this whole immortality thing that they both clearly have.
Okay,
you know?
well,
Yeah, I heard something in regards to Jason's immortality and the way he comes back.
Yeah.
You can ask.
Yeah, possessing people,
Oh yeah, so that's the
turning
thing he
them
does.
into Jason.
Oh yeah. That's...
Okay, that was the thing he did in Jason Goes to Hell. Basically, how that works is that Once that current body, he can transfer his soul to other bodies if he's in a different one. Also has mind control people to eat like his heart to possess them initially. But the thing is that people aren't considered dead until Jason leaves their body. Only a true Vorhees blood can, kill Jason and can tell it's Jason. The problem with that is it's possible with Thorn that might cancel it out.
Actually go
Thorn
into
is
Thorn.
Thorn is possessing Michael. Considering that Thorn has been around since the time of Druids, so that's about movies take place in the 1900s. That's at least hundreds, if not at least 1,000 years old.
Okay.
Hell, Jason
Fair enough.
Jason has gotten his self handed to by Freddy Krueger, who had demonic powers, but also Ina, a teenage girl with powers. He got his ass kicked by a teenage girl.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, here's the thing though. So if Michael is able to kill Jason, then that's going to be more of a problem for Jason. However, I do believe with Jason's overwhelming strength, because he's definitely much stronger than Michael Myers. As much as Michael Myers is a big man, there's a reason I said in his movies. Because Jason towers over Michael Myers. And of course, since I learned that teleportation, speed might not be too much of a factor, but obviously Michael Myers is going to maneuver around a bit more, because how he fights when he's actually in a one-on-one fight, he tries to outspeed and stealth attack his opponents, whereas Jason's not entirely stealthy. He will try head-on approaches 90% of the time. And he's not sneaky, like you'll hear his footsteps. He's like the tyrant from Resident Evil.
Don't know how much Jason's fear of water will also play into this fight, because that was the thing that was established in his main canon.
Well,
he has a fear of water.
I mean, that is true, but Michael Myers isn't
Don't
walking
think
around
it'll
with
matter.
Yeah, because Michael Myers doesn't walk around with a bottle of water on him. Imagine that in a
I don't
death
think it'll
bout.
matter that much.
He just opens his jacket and it's just like bottles of water, and Jason's like...
Here's the thing.
Yeah, and if you're bringing that up, how is Michael going to figure that out?
Yeah, he's smart, but
he
he's
is
not.
clever.
He can't read his mind. Like, this guy in a hockey mask. He must be weak to water. Of course, like that is some like Adam West type of detective work.
I mean, it took so much to put Jason down. It took to the point where he got exploded to be officially confirmed dead.
Yeah.
I don't know if Michael could do that.
No.
If he does, he might actually win, considering that Thorn could cancel out that. But I think I'm going to stick with Jason, despite this whole conflict with immortality thing.
Yeah.
I think the teleportation is going to help him out with the speed game and with the power game. Considering that he can decapitate 3 people at once with one slash and also knock off that same boxer's head in one punch, I don't think Michael has anything clear to that. So I got to go with Jason. I hope it's surprised if Michael wins, though.
I also just thought of a cool kill for Jason.
Oh, yeah?
So, say Michael tries to do that whole, mirror trick. He gets fooled by it because Jason teleports behind him.
That would actually be a fitting way to end that.
That'd be awesome.
'Cause it's ironic and it's clever. Okay, this is going to be a Halloween episode, Death Battle. Go super brutal on this one. Like, top Army Man versus
They're
Homelander.
slasher villains.
Exactly. It's like, I would be so disappointed if it is legit just Jason decapitates Michael Myers. Because, sure, Michael's stabbing people to death. That's what he's known for, and it's all bloody. But Jason is known for gruesome and creative deaths. And if it is just legit, just a decapitation, I'm sorry, you'll get dull machete points for that. Like, we want golden chainsaw.
Golden chainsaw for this season already belongs to Homelander. My God, that guy really ate his own heart out.
I mean, one other kill clip I have seen of Jason is when he dunks someone's face in liquid nitrogen and then just slams their face against something to shatter it.
That was the only good thing about Jason X.
Right, so we're all going for Jason?
Oh yeah, Jason all the way.